Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our 2017-18 school year, or as we say in the school business, Happy New Year. This is our Happy New Year. So this morning I'm here, and I'm going to call to order the organizational meeting of the Newport News School Board for Thursday, July 6th, 2017. And a quorum is present to transact the business of the school division. One board member, Mr. Ely, is not with us this morning. The purpose of this meeting today is to approve organizational matters as required by the Code of Virginia, and I'm opening the meeting as is customary until the board appoints a chairman for the coming year. So before we have our invocation and our pledge this morning, I'd like to take a moment to welcome Sophia Ramirez. She's our new student representative to the school board and is a senior at Menchville High School. We're very excited to have Sophia with us. We're going to give a longer introduction and tell all about you at our August meeting, but I just want to acknowledge how proud we are to serve with you and really looking forward to this year. So thank you.
Thank you.
Now this morning it's our honor for our invocation to have our division-wide Teacher of the Year, April Dawson, with us. And as April comes forward, I'd like to tell you a little bit about her. She's a fourth grade teacher at General Stanford Elementary School, and she has 15 years of experience teaching, all with us in Newport News Public Schools. She really works and stands out as a unique teacher in the way that she builds a community in our classroom, a community where young people are brave enough to be who they want to be, they make mistakes, they grow from that, and it's just a real nurturing and a home kind of a feel in her classroom. She also serves as a model teacher for other educators in Newport News that are new to our school division. She's a lead teacher of her fourth grade at General Stanford, and she is a sponsor of the Elementary Honor Society at her school. So we just thank her for her well-rounded service, and we're excited that she was honored as our Division-wide Teacher of the Year. So have at it.
Great, thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Kilgore, school board members, everyone else who's here with us today. I wanted to just start out with a little story, a summer story that has an anytime message. And it may have been one you've heard before, and it kind of encompasses the kind of attitude that we want all students to have and what we want all teachers to have. And it's the Starfish Story by Lauren Easley. It says, one day a man was walking along the beach when he noticed a boy hurriedly picking up and gently throwing things into the ocean. Well, he approached the boy and he asked, "Young man, what are you doing?" And the boy replied, "I'm throwing starfish back into the ocean. The surf is up and the tide's going out, and if I don't throw them back, they'll all die." The man laughed and said, "Don't you realize there are miles and miles of beach and thousands of starfish? You can't make a difference." And after listening politely, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it into the surf. Then smiling at the man, he said, "Well, I made a difference for that one." So I read the story only to say that we as teachers want to instill in our students that they realize what they think, no matter how small they are and how young they are, that they're going to make a difference. And that is also something that Honor Society encompasses. And that's why we try to build these leaders at such a young age. And it also embraces what we want our teachers to think and to believe. That sometimes these small successes and even the failures and even a little bit of the tears, that the kids are going to see that they're going to grow from that. And it's not scary. And that it's going to pave the road to success and greatness. The Onceler from the Lorax movie. He said, "Change the way things are. The seed may seem small and insignificant, but it's not about what it is. It's about what it can become." So that's the kind of message that we want to make sure we instill in our kids. So thank you for having me very much, and I look forward to being with you guys again.
Thank you
And now,
for being with us.
if we can all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
April, thank you again for being a part of our opening our school year, and we're just proud to have you as our Teacher of the Year. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, this morning, the first item on our agenda is our board organization. And so at this time, the school board will elect a chairman for the 2017-2018 school year. So are there any nominations for the chairman?
Good morning, Madam Superintendent. I'd like to recommend Mr. Gary Hunter to serve as chair board of Newport News School Boards for the 2017-2018 school year.
Second.
Any other nominations? All right, hearing no further nominations, nominations for the office of the board chair are closed, and Gary Hunter has been nominated to serve as the 2017-18 school board chairman. Is there any discussion regarding the nomination? Please call the roll.
Mr. Ashby,
4.
Mr. Brown,
4.
Mr. Harris,
4.
Mr. Hunter,
4.
Ms. Simons, 4, and Mr. Starchill.
4.
Motion carries 6-0. Congratulations.
Alrighty.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to do a little swap chairs like we swap keys. Thank you very much for that vote of confidence. We're going to continue with our agenda. Next, we'll have at this time the school board will elect our vice chair for the 2017-2018 school year. Are there any nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to nominate Carlton Ashby to be vice chair for the school board.
Is there a second?
Second that.
You heard the motion, first, second. Are there any more nominations? Okay, hearing no further nominations, nominations for the office of vice chair are closed. Carlton Ashby has been nominated to serve as the 2017-2018 school board vice chair. Is there any discussion regarding the nominations? There being none, please call a roll.
Mr. Ashby,
4.
Mr. Brown,
4.
Mr. Harris,
4.
Mr. Hunter,
4.
Ms. Simons, 4, and Mr. Starchill.
4.
Motion carries 6-0. Congratulations.
Mr. Vice Chair, do you have any comments?
Let me give him his chair.
Oh.
Congratulations, Mr. Ashby.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Hunter.
Well, we'll continue with our meeting with the consent agenda. First item, 2.01, personnel report. Are there any?
No, they're not.
We have minutes from our special meeting, June 6, 2017, the 2017-2018 school board meeting calendar. We also have a reimbursement resolution for the use of the VPSA funding, impact authorization. We also have the 2017-2018 out of the division school tuition, as well as the non-Virginia resident students tuition. There being none, do we need a vote?
A motion.
We need a motion for acceptance of the consent agenda.
Move to accept the consent agenda.
Second.
You heard the motion. Is there any question? There being none, please call roll.
Mr. Ashby,
4.
Mr. Brown,
4.
Mr. Harris,
4.
Mr. Hunter,
4.
Ms. Simons, 4, and Mr. Starchill.
4.
Motion carries 6-0.
Proceeding on to action items, personal action.
There aren't any
There-
today. Thank
None
you.
today. Thank you. We'll move on to reports. First, we have the school board committee assignments. School board members were giving this in your packages. If you have any corrections or changes, please see Mrs. Hinton, and she will revise if needed. Also, in your package today, we have the availability of the policies and procedure menus. Today, this serves as our annual public announcement that copies of the division's policies and procedure manuals are available to the public and to our employees in each of our schools' libraries, as well as in the Newport News public libraries. You can also find it online. Okay. Let's see, and we'll move on to comments by our school superintendent.
All righty, thank you very much. I just want to acknowledge and thank all of our employees that have been involved in our Spark opening. We've had high school open for 2 or 3 weeks now, and we opened yesterday our elementary and middle school program. So there's a lot of people involved to make an initiative that big happen. We have families that, lots and lots of families that are participating, over 6,000 young people involved this year. So we're just very excited about the summer activity and the enrichment that goes on for our young people in the summer. And just, it's a huge effort for all the employees, and just thank you all so very much. Lastly, I want to say how grateful I am to be a part of this team. I think we have like the best team ever, and so I know that big things can happen and will continue to happen in Newport News Public Schools, and I appreciate being able to work with you all for another year. So thank you very much.
Okay, we'll move on to, at this time, the school board gives the public an opportunity to address the school board. Are there any comments?
We have no cards.
There being none, we'll move on to matters by the school board. And first up, we're going to again welcome Ms. Sophia Ramirez. Welcome, and the floor is yours.
All right. I would just like to start out by saying, obviously, I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm honored to be working with all of you. I look forward to bringing a student's perspective. I think that I'm going to do a very good job with contacting all my fellow students and making sure that I fully represent them. So I hope to do that well this year, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Mr. Harris?
I just look forward to a great year. I'm looking forward to working with the new chairman and new vice chairman. Ensure that we continue to put those policies and procedures forward to support our teachers and our students, and make sure that we continue to be as open as possible when it comes to the public, and not forgetting that we are a public institution. So look forward to another year. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
Yeah. Well, this is a closeout of I would think one of our best years ever. A really fantastic year, and looking forward to even bigger and better things in the upcoming year. Thinking about our graduation rate getting above 92% this year, that's just a really phenomenal accomplishment, and the dropout rate continues to decline. So looking forward to those trends continuing, and I'm looking forward to pursuing the policies and procedures that will allow those trends to continue. I know we're doing summer school right now, and as you all know, the summer school is near and dear to my heart. So I want to continue to press forward in that in the upcoming year, and just looking forward to a really fantastic year all around.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mrs. Simon.
Also, just wanted to say how excited I am about our Spark summer program this summer, and how important I think it is for our children to have these learning opportunities over the summer so that they keep their reading skills and their math skills sharp all year long. I also wanted to say that I'm excited to be involved in a program called Serve the City. And if anyone out there has some time to help with this initiative, this is a Newport News, City of Newport News initiative to try to get people to volunteer next week. And so if you look up Serve the City, you can find out more about it. I'll be working with refugees for a day, my daughter and I, and we'll be working on reading with some refugees. So I think it's a really neat way to get citizens to volunteer with important city projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simons. Mr. Stodgel.
Well, congratulations to our new chairman, Mr. Hunter, and our vice chair, Carlton Ashby. I wish you luck in leading this group, and we shouldn't need much luck because we're going to have great leadership, and you two are seasoned. Thank you for stepping forward. And I want to thank the board for pulling together and unanimously finding our new leadership, lead us strongly next year, and we're going to have a great year. So I'm not going to take your slogan completely, but I'm going to use it here. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stodger. Mr. Vice Chair.
Well, now that I'm the vice chair, great things are happening. Freudian slip there. Okay, sorry. I think the first thing which I'd like to say is I want to thank Mr. Jeff Stodger for the outstanding and phenomenal leadership that he has done over these last couple of years. And I'm just simply going to ask this board to stand up and give him a big standing ovation. Just really exemplified leadership, and one of the things I'm actually in the process of doing a team leadership academy at my church and teaching young people about leadership. And as Jeff has been the leader, I mean, all the elemental attributes that I'm teaching young people, he displayed, has demonstrated them consistently and constantly as the vice chair and as the chair. And one of the things about leadership is about being competent, but leadership is also about serving. And one of the things which I admire about Mr. Stodger is he consistently and constantly not only spoke with us, but he listened to us, listened to our ideas and our ideology and philosophies in reference to the board and about education. So we thank you so very, very much for that. Also like to piggyback on Ms. Simons. When I was going to work yesterday morning at my church, got to see our young children standing on the corner waiting to go to Spark, and I actually called the superintendent and said, as I was driving by and looking at the children and their parents standing with them, the children looked very excited about coming. You know, I was looking at their body language and their facial expressions. They look very excited about coming to a summer program where they're going to learn or have enrichment and learn leadership and opportunities and grow not only as far as academics and reinforcement, but enrichment and preparing them to be successful in the 21st century. That's a key and critical element as far as Spark is concerned, and that's what we are doing our children. Ladies and gentlemen, and to the public, we have a phenomenal superintendent. And one of the things about leadership is about being proactive and proactive and looking futuristically and looking holistically also. And I was at an event, and there was another leader of another school system there. And this superintendent was discussing the vision in which that school system is going. And as I was listening very closely, attentively, the layout, the alignment, the plan, Newport News Public Schools was doing that 8 to 10 years ago. And it's nothing negative, it just shows the vision, the research, and everything. And I even got a booklet from there, and I'm going to show it to the superintendent, but these were things that the superintendent, senior staff, the whole Newport News Public Schools family was doing years ago. And when you look at the 21st century rubric and you look at that, you know, all those things that I heard mentioned in that situation were things that when I got on the board in 2006, Dr. Kilgore was leading us to do that. Also, we're very fortunate to have a superintendent that has a background in instruction, which is key and critical for the success of our children. So we thank you so very much. We thank the senior staff, the entire Newport News Public family. Obviously, our parents play a part in that also. But our children are growing and developing. You heard Mr. Brown talk about over 92% graduation rate. That is an eclectic and holistic approach, and that's why that's happening. The reduction in the dropout rate, phenomenal situation. The amount of industry certifications. So when you look at all of those type of things, are we a perfect school system? No. Are we moving toward that direction? Absolutely, yes. So commend the senior staff, the superintendent, all of the parents. We just simply commend you, and our children will continue to grow, develop, expand, and they will continue to do exceptionally well. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Well, it comes to the end, and first I'm honored and privileged to accept this position as your new school board chair. Let me seize this opportunity to pay tribute to those who have held this position before me, and our most recent chair, Mr. Jeff Stodger. Thank you for leading us down the paths of success. You've done an outstanding job. So as we embark on a new school year, let us stay focused with our task at hand. Newport News Public Schools' mission is to ensure that all of our students graduate college, career, and citizen ready. I'm certain that we will continue down this path of achievement as we strengthen our relationships with our students, our parents, our teachers, our support staff, the bus drivers, and last but not least, our city council members and our new city manager. I'm sure together we will improve the lives of our young folks, and they will become our future leaders in this city as well as around the world. Again, I thank you for your vote of confidence, and let's make this a great year because there are great things happening in Newport News Public Schools. Are there any more items? There being none, this meeting is adjourned.
Good.
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 That was it.